Hey, and welcome to Q&A with fourth place Brandon and jury favorite Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm great.
How did you feel getting voted out last night?
Um,
Did you cry?
Obviously, theme of the season for me.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Why
I
did
mean,
you cry? Because you got so close, or
yeah,
because
I felt like I had a chance at winning, and I was so close, like literally so close. And
when
the
did
worst
you
case scenario happened.
when did you start crying? Was it like right
Um,
after the
I
thing?
tried, I wanted to leave on a positive note, so I was like talking to them like after I got voted out. And like saying good luck, whatever, blah blah blah, and then I had to cut it short because I was like, oh shit.
Oh my God. Well, I've been there, so. So let's go right back to the start of the game. You were on the Blue Tribe, which consisted of a bunch of 10 gauges, David Racine, and HLC. What were your first impressions?
I mean, at first coming in as a returner, I thought I was a target anyway, but then I saw Heather and I was like, okay, it's fine. I won't be first out. I don't know. I felt like at first it was hard to talk to them, but after a while I found my footing because I think I was between two alliances on that tribe of Dustin and David and Jason and John. So I think it was fine. It's not like people I would normally work with, but I think it worked
You
in
made you
my
made it.
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have much else to work with.
Yeah.
HLC.
Yeah, that
So,
was
like, where's the beef that you and HLC? Where does that stem from?
sorry, something about HLC.
Oh yeah, where's the beef? Where does the beef that you two have? Where does it stem from?
Honestly, I don't know. She started hating me when we lost. I
She
couldn't tell you.
definitely. I mean, like she blamed you out of everyone for some reason for you getting voted out, even though she got 5 votes. Like,
Hmm. Maybe she thought I was like the leader of the tribe and she like blamed me.
but, I mean, it does take a mastermind to get rid of HLC. So,
True, yeah.
so was there
Not
never
everyone
any
can do
like
it.
consideration that you'd keep HLC in and take out a bigger threat, or was she just too much of like a loose cannon?
Night one, I was like, HLC has to stay. Then I realized that was not happening. Like, if we had lost the first challenge, I would have tried.
Who would you have tried to vote out instead?
At that point, round one, probably Dustin, because he didn't talk to anybody. So I felt like that was going to be like the easiest person to sway for.
Hmm.
And I think Jason would have done it. I don't know about anyone else. Um, After round one, tough. Probably wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, so you did win like the first few challenges, and that was mainly like HLC put a good show in those challenges, and then you backstab her and get rid of her. Where did you feel on that tribe when HLC the buffer vote was gone? Did you feel like you were still in a good position?
Um, I mean, yeah, like I said, I was like in between two sides, I think. So I think for the first vote, if we lost again, I would have been the person making the decision. And I think I said to the jury last night, I probably would have pushed for John to go because he was the one person I didn't feel that connected to on the
Right.
tribe. Um, so I probably would have sided with Dustin and David. But
John seemed like quite a social player. Did you just not like?
we never
Did your
talked.
personalities just not? Oh, okay.
We never talked. I talked to literally everyone else more than him, even Dustin, who was never here.
Hmm, it's weird.
Yeah. Then when I found out that him and Jason were friends,
Oh, did they not
God.
admit that beforehand?
No, no. I made a really angry confessional
So
at
did you not know
Jason.
any of the like? Did you not know they all knew each other,
Mm-mm,
and they never
not at
like
all.
give any hints away either? How
Nope.
did you find out then?
Jason was calling me one day and he accidentally, instead of calling me individually, he added me to a chat that he was in with all of his like friends,
Oh my
like not in
god,
the game. And in that chat was John.
what an idiot.
And I have a screenshot on my computer still of it. But yeah, and I didn't notice it at first because I was driving, so I didn't notice that he was in the chat. And then John got blindsided that night, and Jason was like, "Brandon, I have to tell you something. Me and John have been best friends forever."
Oh
I
my
was
god,
like,
this is Jason, the mastermind of Conquest 5.
"Yeah."
So John probably would have gone, but you didn't go back to tribal council. Did you feel like fairly comfortable, like a fight that you could work with everyone on that tribe, or were you like itching to get rid of John anyway?
Um, I felt like I could work with John because I felt like me, him, and Jason like had an alliance, even though
Yeah,
we never
well, that's what
talked.
happened on the swap. You ended up on a tribe with John and Jason. Were you obviously stuck with that three on the first vote? Was there any question of maybe switching sides?
I mean, we were under the assumption that people were going to vote with us that vote. So, I mean, I would have flipped because I wasn't really close to John, but I think it worked in my benefit that I didn't
Yeah.
flip. Um, yeah.
So, like, you went into that swap tribe. You and Ricky have history. Did you think like it's either going to be me or him going like first in that situation?
Yeah, I felt like if they were to vote for anyone, it was going to be me because Ricky wanted to. But then when I heard that Hodges and Devin refused to vote for me, that was like awesome. And then it
Oh,
also
so
was
did
like
you know that was the
scary.
thing before that tribal council where John got voted? Like, you knew you weren't going.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I can't remember who told me. It wasn't Hodges or Devin. It was someone else that told me that they refused to vote for me.
Okay.
Um, and like it was nice to hear that, but it was also like that's such a huge target.
Yeah. So, like, who did you think was actually voting with you against Ricky?
Well, Jason thought he had Chris. And I had talked to Hodges or Devin, or I can't remember, but we were certain we had Chris.
Yeah. So you, John went home. I guess it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad for you because you weren't even close to him anyway.
Yeah.
Why was Devin B the next vote? Like, what the fuck happened there? Did he just put his foot like into it? Did he play horribly? What happened?
Well, after the first vote, there were two sides, I think. There was Ricky, Chris, myself, and Jason, and then um, Hodges, Devin, Ricky, and me. So there was like the four who knew each other before the game, and then the four who were on the original tribes together.
Right.
And me and Ricky actually talked that round. We like put aside our differences, and we decided we would rather work with Jason and Chris. And then I think both of us liked Hodges more in the game, so we
Yeah. So it's just so it wasn't necessarily that Devin did something wrong. It was just the way it
no.
worked
I mean,
out.
he didn't talk a lot, like at all, so it was easier to say him than Hodges.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was easy.
Yeah, because I mean, like, it looked from like at least in my perspective as a viewer that Devon and Hodges were the swing votes in that situation, but I mean, I guess they weren't. So they go out. You're in a fairly good position. What were you confident going into the next round that it wasn't going to be you? And did you think it could be Jason though?
Yeah, me and Jason planned that he might get blindsided. And that's why he went into the arena and I didn't, because we didn't think that they would vote for me over
Right.
Hodges, but they would vote for Jason over Hodges.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we wanted him to win the challenge and not me. So I kept my vote and he went for the challenge.
Sorry,
So
just got a Skype call. Yeah. So it worked out. Jason won immunity. Did you ever think about maybe going to Brandon and voting Ricky out, or did you think it would be like a 2-2 rock kind of thing?
I totally considered it, especially when we had the votes to do something. and go after Ricky. But then it was like a lose-lose situation because like we felt like going into the merge, Ricky would flip to Katie and Hodges would flip to Jen. So it was like a lose-lose for us going into the merge, but we
Yeah.
felt like it was more important to be loyal to Chris and Ricky and at least have like a semi-solid four
Yeah.
instead of leaving Chris out.
And how do you feel about that move now that you've come away from the game? Have you thought about it? Do you think it was the wrong decision? Do you think it was the right decision?
I think it helped lessen my target at merge having Hodges out because everyone knew we were friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I see that. And then
So
Ricky obviously has had quite a target for most of the game, so you were able to sink that. So you made the merge. Congratulations. The first vote of the merge doesn't exactly go your way. Jason gets destroyed by everyone, including you. Like, did you try and save him, or what did you do that round aside from vote for Jason?
I tried for a little, but then I realized it was a lose situation, so I stopped trying and I went to people and was like, I know I'm close to Jason, like everyone knows I'm close to Jason, but I don't want you guys to think that whatever he says is the same as what I think. Like I specifically went to Katie and was like, I know you guys have beef, but I don't want your perception of him to be the same perception of me. Just so that I had like options moving forward. Yeah, so I just tried to separate myself from Jason when I knew it was like
Is the sinking
not a
ship?
good. Yeah,
It was Titanic.
yeah.
So did you talk to Jason? Did you try and do some jury management and be like, look, you're fucked, so I'm gonna vote for you? Or like, did you tell him beforehand?
I didn't, but he messaged me during the vote because I told him I was considering voting someone random because I didn't want to vote for him, and he had messaged me during tribal after his huge rant and was like, "Vote for me, you dumbass," and so I did.
Oh, so he gave you a nice out.
Yeah.
That's nice of him. At least he did something right this game. What do you think it was about Jason that led him to get like 8 votes into?
Honestly, I don't know at all. I mean, he's
Did
very
he
over the
rub people
top.
the wrong way?
I just think he's really over the top and he played too hard.
Right. Yeah, and he created a whole idol target on his back that didn't.
The idol target, yeah, Katie in general, like, yeah, there was a lot against him.
Yeah, these 10 gauges, man, they're crazy. So you survived that vote. Do you feel like you were in a good position then? Did you think you were going to go next? You thought you were going to go next?
I didn't think I was gonna go next just because I was probably 9th out of 9 on list of threats.
Right.
So I didn't think I was gonna go home next, but I thought I was in a terrible position.
Yeah. So you didn't think you had any power in the game?
None. But then when I finally talked to Jen, I felt like there was totally hope.
Okay, so did like Jen talk to you? Were like I can't like putting the timeline together. Did you connect to Jen before she decided to vote Dustin out?
Oh yeah, we talked a
Okay.
lot that round. Me, her, and David talked like constantly during that round, and we were trying everything just to pull in Chris T because we felt like he was the swing vote.
So who was going to be the target before Dustin?
It was gonna be Katie, I believe, but then we got on call and honestly, I think I suggested Dustin out of like random like guys, what if we just like voted for Dustin? It was like a joke. And yeah, it just happened.
These jokes can gather momentum, and that certainly did. Like, when did you find out about the whole Dustin has an idol disaster?
When Jason was still in the game.
Okay, so you actually knew Dustin had an idol then?
Before Jen. Yeah.
Everyone in the game, literally. Which I honestly think Jen might have been the last person to know.
Yeah, it was
So,
funny.
like, Did you not tell Jen then?
I did. I told her when we started talking about the shadiness of that group, I was like, Jen, I have to tell you something, and I don't know if you know this, that Dustin has an idol. And she acted shocked, but last night she told me that David had already told her. So,
So you get the five together. Were you confident that Chris T was with you?
that round, yes.
Okay, so you blindside Dustin, then drama erupts. You manage to stay under the radar for another round, but unfortunately, the next round does work in your favor. So originally, the target was Katie, correct?
Yep, until like
And
2 minutes before the vote.
yeah, so Jen had actually already submitted a vote for Katie, just to give
Yep.
you some info.
Yep.
And what like did you just not care that it was going to be Chris W? Because you had like started building a bond with Chris W. Did you not think it was a number that you could have potentially used more so than Katie and Ricky?
I wanted to, but Chris talked to everybody, and he
Yeah.
told everyone what they wanted to hear. I said at Final 16, when I first met Chris, that I thought he was going to win the game because his social game is like, I thought it was amazing. So I wanted to trust him, but at the same time, I didn't feel like I could. Like, I didn't tell him stuff that I knew that was happening because I didn't trust that he wasn't going to go to Katie and Ricky. So at the time, I didn't push at all for him not to leave. I was like, fine, that's awesome, fine. And I think it helped me as well because like I was then the only one in the game without a pair. So I think it helped me. And then looking back, I think it was the right decision because I felt like Chris was better at.
1 second, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Yeah,
so I feel like Chris was better at making connections as opposed to Katie and Ricky, who was just this big, massive threat. So I think looking back, it was the right decision.
Yeah, so Chris W goes. There was some debate whether it was the best move for you. It certainly spelled the end of a few people's games, including Jen, one of your closer allies. Were you totally blindsided in the round that she went?
I want to say I was, but I wasn't because we knew it was happening.
You knew Jen was getting votes.
Right. We knew she was getting votes, and Fabi ignored us. So we knew it was happening.
So like it wasn't like you got confirmation. The signs were just very clear that it was happening.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a dramatic final tribal council. There was a lot of attacks flying around. Like how does it feel being in one of those tribal councils where people are like going at each other? Do you want to get involved, or do you just like, I'll sit back and let them have it out?
No, at that point I was totally sitting back. I didn't really do anything crazy until the round after that. And then I was expecting drama on me. But no, at that tribal I was like, yes, you guys can all fight and I'll sit here and smile and forget my tribal questions.
It was a good one. So Jen goes, you're once again back in the minority. Like, are you like, fuck, I have to make a move now, or I'm not gonna get to the end?
I knew that Chris was building up an army, I felt like. With Katie on his side. I felt like Katie and him were closer than they let on. He also had David and Fabi. So I was like, this is bad for me. I'm gonna get fourth.
What did you think? Do you think his intentional final three was David and Fabi?
David and Fabi, 100%. And I didn't want to let them be the final three, just to let me get fourth. So I made a power move and I flat out told Ricky and Katie everything about my game. I literally laid out everything on the line. They could have easily gone to Christine and got me voted out that round, but they didn't. And I felt pretty secure with them going into tribal, which is weird because we hadn't worked together whatsoever.
Did you get along with them? Do you kind of regret not talking to them more now, or was it more like you did it for sure?
I did get along with them pretty well the last couple rounds, and that's why I'm such like a Katie Ricky fan going into the finale tonight. Like, I really did get along with them, and I wanted to be in the final three with them after we like got to know each other the last couple rounds.
Right.
But I don't regret not talking, or I don't regret, how am I wording this? Not talking them to before, because I don't think it would have worked in my benefit if I
Right.
had talked to
So
them
you think
before.
you made that relationship when you needed to make that relationship and it worked out? I think like that's something like I struggle with the games. I'll just make friends with like everyone at day one, and then you can become bogged down with like a string of people that you're gonna fuck over. But like you played it smartly. You picked and chose when you needed to make friends. You made friends with Jen when you needed to. You made friends with Chris and Ricky. I mean Katie and Ricky when you needed to. It worked out. Like from the view, I was like, why is Brandon making this move? Because all he has to do is sit back and get to the final tribal council, and he's gonna win. So do you not put any stock in what Chris T said and saying his intended final three was you and David?
No, I didn't trust Chris T whatsoever. I said in my confessionals, Chris T was the most unreliable person in this game. I didn't want to rely on him to get me there. I wanted to rely on myself to get me there. And if I was in a final five scenario with Ricky, Katie, myself, David, and Chris, Chris was the swing vote. But
Yeah.
I wanted to be the swing vote, so that's why I went after Fabi and I made an alliance with Ricky
Yeah,
and Katie.
that was a good move. You blindsided Fabi. Did you feel a bit guilty about taking out the German Sandra? Like,
I
so
felt really
brutally.
bad about lying because I lied so much to him that day. Like, oh my God, it was really bad. And I felt like that was the first person going to the jury where my jury management wasn't good.
Yeah.
I felt going into that point, my jury management had been pretty good, but
Yeah,
that
no,
was,
it definitely had. Like, the jury was firmly in your favor by that. They were already rooting for you to win, like, basically just before Jen left. Um, so Fabi goes. You make it. I think like it helps as well because now you have a big move argument that you can pad out your final three resume, and then you go into the round that David leaves. Did you suspect the conquest? Chris had the conquest at all?
me and Katie had talked about it that day, and we thought that he might have it. And that's the one thing I regret
Were you
is
considering voting for David first?
yeah, I regret not voting for David. That's the one thing.
I think like at the same time, you can never really fully predict. And then
Right.
this could have easily been a conversation that we were having where you voted for David and Chris T didn't have the conquest.
Yeah. And then I would have been here too. So like,
Yeah, so, I mean it was a
yeah.
50-50 toss up at that point.
Yeah.
So David goes, you're going into the final four, and I think like the move you made did pay out because instead of like a 1 in 4 chance of getting to the end, you had a 3 in 4 chance of getting to the end. Unfortunately for you,
The
Chris
1
T
in 4
won.
happened.
Chris T won. You came. How were you close to winning the final immunity challenge?
I got all the, if I studied for about 10 hours, I had 10 pages of notes. I got all 7 questions right in the first part, and I would have won because in seasons 1 and 2, the challenge was 7 questions.
Yeah.
That's what I was planning for, and I got all of them right. And then he throws in the second part, and I didn't understand. I
What was
couldn't.
it? It was like a puzzle.
Yeah, it was like trivia about players that made jury on a puzzle. So it was like a female is right of the person that got last in the bistro.
Oh god, I've
Um,
done the horrible.
it was so hard, and like I did terrible. And I honestly think had I, because I was ahead of Chris going into that with my points from the first part, I think if I had just typed a list, submitted it in like 2 seconds, I would have won.
Yeah.
No, if I
Well,
even if I got none right. So like,
did you like even try to come up with like a backup plan if Chris T won, or did you just know you were like fucked?
I knew I was out if he won. I knew
Yeah.
it because Chris. I feel like Chris played the game like I think I explained in my confessionals, like every time I talked about his game, it was like me going like like he just threw out ideas and he didn't
You
care
played a
what
manic game.
right, yeah. He played very manically and I feel like he just wanted revenge on me and he was not gonna let me go to a tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I tried, but
But I think it was probably the better move for him to get rid of you, at least judging by the juries. The Church of
yeah.
Brandon Clark is a thing. I think you would have swept. Did you like you were still in the game? Did you think you had a good shot of winning if you got to the end?
I was I was pretty confident. I figured I would get. That's why I wanted to go with Katie and Ricky because I felt like they were the strongest two of the final five or final six. I felt like they were the strongest two competitors, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt pretty confident in my game, and I wanted to go against the strongest two.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I felt pretty confident. I didn't
Yeah, I
think I
mean,
would
like,
sweep the
we'll never
jury.
know for sure, but I think you've been the odds-on favorite for getting to that end. So, like, you played a good game, like, you played a winning game. Unfortunately, it was just cut one round too short. Um, so I think that sums up how you've played the game. You played a great game. Well done. Probably out of all the people in the fourth place club, the best chance of winning at the end. So that's something. Did you freeze? Hello?
Oh, you're back.
Oh, right. Cool. So
Okay.
I was just saying, you probably you played the best game in the final of the fourth place group because you probably had the best shot of winning. So I'll move on to some quick fire questions now if you're ready.
Okay.
So who are you most likely to vote for in the final tribal council?
Katie,
Who are you least likely to vote for?
Chris.
Do you think that either do you think anyone other than Katie can get your vote?
No.
Okay, cool. Who do you think is going to win?
Katie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to give you a list of fourth place survivors,
Okay.
and then who do you like? You're going to compare half your personality and then half your gameplay. Who did you like?
Okay. I
Who are
already
you
know
most likely?
personality. I hope you give me a certain person because I already know personality wise.
Pardon?
I already know who I'm going to say for personality, so I'm hoping that this person is one of the options.
Okay, I'll give you the list on Skype, so have a look if you.
Okay.
We'll discuss.
Oh, there's a wiki for fourth place. That's fun. Okay. Okay, so it's loading, but Jerry Manthe,
Someone
for
else said that. Chris W said that. I'm not
I
sure. Like, why Jerry? Like, Heroes versus Villains, Jerry Manthey.
yeah, I
I don't know. I
not
guess I
not
can
so
kind of
much
see it. I think like
not so much like personality. I guess more so like story arc because like in my first season I was complete villain, over the top -5, and that's what she was her first time.
yeah,
She comes back and is total hero, gets a hero edit, and might have gotten a few votes at the end.
yeah. She
Um,
definitely had a shot point. Yeah, I can see it. And like, I guess you played more of a different. Like, Jerry was with One Alliance practically the whole time, but
mhm,
from like a story, I think it's similar. And then she lost the final Mune challenge, went out. Yeah, I
mhm.
can see it. We'll give you Jerry Manthey. I'll take that.
And then for I don't know what I would say for gameplay.
Mm, I want to pick.
Maybe I want to say Natalie Bolton because she's a queen,
I was
but
thinking
I don't.
Natalie Bolton. Like this is hard. Like it is hard to pick the fourth places, but I could see like she kind of like was out of the numbers and back in the numbers and out.
I know who I'll say. I'll say
Okay.
Ashley Underwood, because she laid low the whole game, and then at the end is when she started to pick up and make the moves, and that's why she got out at fourth because she
Yeah.
was a threat to Rob.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I can see it. I've not watched that season, but I'll take your word for it. Um, would you play Conquest again?
Yeah,
And what theme do you think would suit you the best? You can be cocky and say All Stars if you want.
I don't know.
You got a lot of likes. You could definitely do fans versus favorites on the exit polls.
That's true.
Or
I don't know what
better
I would
times to chat.
prefer. I don't like All Stars. Those seasons are really messy. So I would probably say fans versus favorites.
Okay. I think you'll probably come back like if you'd gone out like eighth, it wouldn't have been the same. But like your final next 4 rounds, definitely you play definitely like that's where you made your mark on this season, and I'm glad you played. So did you have a good time overall? Did you have fun playing?
Oh yeah, this is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Not only like I felt like I played a good game, which I never leave a game thinking I played well, so that made me confident. But I loved this cast. Like I said that in my confessional a lot. Like I absolutely loved all of the people in this cast. Like I think that's my social game was pretty good because like I genuinely did like everybody. So I think that's why I liked this season so much.
Yeah, I think like especially like the entire jury and like the final 3, you were all good players and you were all like interesting characters. I think the boot order was really good this season,
I
except for
agree.
maybe Sherry.
Who?
Sherry,
Oh
Queen
my god,
Sherry.
Queen.
Oh my god,
Glad I didn't have to play with her.
that would have been fucking. She would have been hilarious. She would have brought some comedy. I think this season might have lacked comedy that she definitely would have brought.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for doing this exit interview. I have to go.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to your final tribal council question. Are you going to roast them, or is it going to be a nice one?
I'm going first because I'm going to be nice before they go into the wolves.
I can't believe they're letting Jen end on it. She's going to slaughter them.
Yeah, she is.
All right, thanks a lot, Brandon.
Thanks.
Cheers, bye.
Bye.